Alrighty, I think we are live right now. Yes, sir. Alrighty. What is going on, everyone? My name is, of course, Michael Ruiz, and I want to welcome y'all to, I believe this is episode 3 of Freedom and Hustle. I really appreciate all of you taking the time out of your day to, spend some time and, hopefully get a little bit of, motivation, take some things out, get some good information, out of this podcast, because that's the whole goal of this, the whole overall goal of this is to, hopefully, after, 20 minutes or however long these episodes usually go for, that you're able to, draw something out of this and, hopefully apply it to, to your lives, or at the very least, make yourself more knowledgeable than you were before, So that's the overall goal of this. And of course, this is the first episode of 2020. I was legit about to say 2019. I still got the years a little bit mixed up, but hopefully that changes over, the next month. Am I the only one that gets that? I know I can't be the only one. I know some of y'all have that same problem, especially in the first 3 months. Usually you get the last year mixed up with the current year. So instead of thinking it's 2020, you think it's 2019 or whatever. That still happens to me a lot, but I know I'm not the only one. Okay, I can't be the only one. But anyways, yeah, of course this is the first episode of 2020, first episode of the decade as well. I hope everyone had a good year, a good holiday season as well. And I hope everyone's getting all their New Year's resolutions in order, and hopefully taking steps to accomplishing them and achieving them. And hopefully I can help all of you with that as well. Of course, like I said, new year, new decade. I want this to be the decade where all of you are able to achieve whatever goals and actually that you have in mind. Actually make this the year and decade that you actually accomplish things for real. And actually get your New Year's resolution stuff in order. The sad part is that of course, everyone, it's kind of like a meme, but everyone already knows, everyone has these really ambitious goals for their New Year's, but then everyone just by the end of January, at least half of the people that that've made New Year's resolutions kind of just throws it away. They just forget about it. Hopefully that doesn't happen to any of you. I don't want that to happen to any of you. And if you ever need any help when it comes to goal setting and stuff like that, I would highly recommend you check out my the episode before this one. So in episode 2, I discussed how to properly set your goals, in the sense that hey, so of course you write down what your goals would be, and then you evaluate it, how will you achieve it, long term and medium term, short term. Usually when you arrange your goals in that manner, you're more likely to accomplish them, because it doesn't seem like a big feat. You're putting it on a step by step, I can't speak right now, but you usually put it on a step by step basis. So I highly recommend you go ahead and check that out if you haven't already, and then also give that episode a like as well. I'd really appreciate it. You'd be awesome if you do so. Yeah. This episode is a little bit overdue, because originally I was gonna put this episode out not yesterday, but last week. So just for anyone that doesn't know, I'm living out in my beautiful isla of Puerto Rico, and we've been going through a lot of earthquakes. When I mean a lot, I mean a lot. At least over 1,000 to this point. And and when I say over 1,000, that's from from a magnitude of where it's not even noticeable, let's say magnitude 2 or whatever, to last Tuesday we had we had an earthquake of like a 6.4, and that one was felt basically like over the island. Even in some places in the Dominican Republic, felt like that earthquake. And thankfully where I'm at right now, we we haven't gotten like any kind of like damages or anything like that. On that Tuesday, we pretty much spent like the whole day without like power. But other than that, like we were completely fine. Unfortunately, like there has been not exactly where I'm at, but more out west. There's a lot of people that they've lost their homes. There's been several structure collapses and stuff like that. Really like sad stuff. Like even like some points of attractions. Like those like this really like nice place. Those like this. I don't want to say like a cliff or whatever, but like it was pretty famous. And the whole thing like basically like collapses. It's pretty like sad stuff, but hopefully all I can say is hopefully the worst has subsided, and and hopefully like everyone can like hopefully like recover from this, and we are, we do we know how to usually recuperate from stuff like this, especially after Maria, so that's just a little bit of like what's been going on here. I might even try to like put like some kind of like donation, like link in, like within like the show notes or whatever. Like if everybody like feels like donating, like help some people out, like you'd really it would be like a great service if you feel like doing so. So I might try to like put in like a donation page if that's possible, and then like if not, like I'll try to find some other way how I can send anyone like a link that's like interested, so if anybody here is like interested in donating to help out relief to affected families here in Puerto Rico, like I said, I might put out like a link if and within the show notes if that's possible, or otherwise I'll find some other way. But yeah, like putting that aside, I don't want to like drag too on, and like talk about that. I'm trying to like bring like a kind of like a positive atmosphere in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move aside from that, and talk about like some other things. So how has everyone been doing at this point? I'm asking like this question like there was like literally people that can respond to like what I'm saying. But moving on. So I did write like some notes of some things that I wanted to talk about. Now I don't think I'm gonna have like time to discuss like all these topics that I wrote down, but I do have time to like discuss like this one topic, and I do feel like this topic would be of interest, and it would help out a lot of you, like especially like like getting all the BS aside, just like focusing on like what's actually important, and getting like some stuff done. All right. Now, stuff I'm about to talk about, it's actually related to like this book. All right, I don't know if you can see it, but I got like this book right here. It's called The Secret, and it's pretty decent name, pretty simple name, but it makes sense. So what is this book about? So this book is basically all about the law of attraction. All right. Now, for those of you, I'm sure some of you have probably like heard the law of attraction. Some people, have like a good concept of it. Some people practice it. Some people might roll their eyes and just think, like that's basically like nothing. Like you just, like positive thinking and all that. But for anyone that doesn't know, or like have like an idea of what the law of attraction is, basically the whole idea of the law of attraction is basically that whatever you put into your mind manifests. So basically, you know, so basically, like let's just say, if you're always thinking negative, if you're always thinking that that you're never gonna get whatever you want in life, like you're always gonna remain broke. You're not gonna you're just always gonna be in a depressed state. Because that's just how you think. The way the world is. That's gonna manifest, and you're gonna get exactly that. On the other hand, if you're very appreciative of what you have, if you're always thinking of where you want to be, if you generally have a more positive outlook and all that, generally that is gonna like manifest like as well, and that's like the whole idea of like the law of attraction overall, like as the term, as you can kind of like understand like from the term, basically whatever you put into your mind is going to manifest. All right, so if you put a lot of garbage into your mind, you can expect to get exactly that. On the other hand, if you put like a lot of positive stuff, if you give yourself a mindset where you're very ambitious, a mindset where you're very appreciative, you're very grateful, and you're always looking to put yourself into a better place. You're gonna get like exactly that. All right, and this is basically what this book is all about. It talks a little bit about it like in detail. It even gives like some examples of people that stated that they've practiced the law of attraction to a great extent, and they've seen some very good like results. Now to be fair, you can have like a little bit of like skepticism. You can just like look, you can just look at the law of attraction and then you can just just be like, I don't know. I ain't really feeling. I don't think like any of that is real or anything like that. Which I do think that is like fair. Because generally it might just seem as like that's just like a bunch of like like hippie nonsense. Like nobody thinks that's real or anything like that. But for what it's worth, this book does bring up like some examples of people who practice like the law of attraction, and they've seen some changes in their lives and all that. There was like one example that I do remember from like the book. I don't remember like his name, but apparently there was someone who he got into like basically like a very terrible accident, and basically this person like was stuck in like a coma, and apparently when this person was stuck in a coma, he stated that I think like he stated like he was still like aware to like in a certain extent, but what he was doing was he was basically like imagining himself like being like out of a coma, and like basically being like being like 100%, like being like in a state where like he's fully healthy, like he looks like he's never been like in any kind of like life-threatening incident or anything like that. And this guy stated that basically that over an amount of time, he was able to slowly recuperate himself almost to the point where like he's living like a completely functional like life. And I think that's despite the fact that the doctors that were treating him at the time basically stated that like this guy ain't going nowhere. The best way we could do for him is that he's just gonna stay in like this vegetative state that he's like in, where he's just like stuck in a coma or whatever. And apparently like he surprised everyone, that he was able to like recover, and he attributed that entirely to the law of attraction. It's a pretty interesting book. Like I said, it's good to be skeptical, especially with like big claims, that you can get like whatever you want in life by just giving yourself a mindset where you attract it. So that's completely fair. But then at the same time, I think it's always good to, like evaluate stuff that you would have never thought possible before. It always happens to everybody. Like I'm sure like there's plenty of like millionaires like in the world, that they would have never thought getting to the place that they were was possible until they did it. And generally it was because like they allowed themselves to like have a mindset where yeah, I can actually do that. I can be rich if I wanted to. And well, that's exactly what happened to them. Now I will give like a good objection. Well, actually, I'll counter an objection, I should say. That's a better way to phrase it. To people that that would be skeptical, that would say like I guess I think it would be fair to like call it like supernatural, although I don't know if yeah you could say supernatural. I think a good counter to people that are skeptical of like the supernatural aspect of the law of attraction, that would say like well, you can't literally manifest whatever you want like out of life just by thinking it. And now for the sake of the argument, I'm gonna go ahead and give them that. All right, you're probably right. All right, you can't literally manifest like what you want like in life. Now the counter that I would give to that is like even if you're not literally manifesting the things that you want in life, isn't it still better to at least put yourself in a state of mind where you're at least like more open to like better opportunities for yourself in life, and you're always looking for ways to like improve yourself and stuff like that, and just having like a good better positive feel for like yourself, like at the very least if you're doing it for that reason, I don't see any problem with like practicing your life, and following the law of attraction, like even if for the sake of the argument it's just a bunch of like booty basically, like it doesn't work, because like even if the supernatural aspect is not real, you have like a state of mind where you're always looking for opportunities. So like even if like let's say you want to be a millionaire, and then you start dreaming about being one, if you have that mindset, you're going to be open and susceptible to seeing opportunities where you can actually achieve that. So even in that regard, I don't see any problem with practicing the law of attraction, like even if like the literal manifesting aspect is not real. You know what I mean? But yeah. Again, highly recommend this book. All right, so I might give y'all some homework. If there's anything at the very least that you can draw from this is one goal that I think everyone should have for like this year is to just generally like read more. Most of the most successful people in the world, they read a decent bit. I think that this, I mean, I don't want to like pluck out any names because I might be wrong, but I'm pretty much sure that most of the billionaires in the world, a good chunk of them, not all of them of course, but a good chunk of them read a book a day. All right, so imagine that, and like I'm not saying that that reading books is gonna make you like a billionaire, but you do have to like study the most successful people in the world, and just see what they're doing, and at least adopt some of the stuff that they do in their lives to yours, because I don't know, they got to be doing something right, you know what I mean? But one of your goals should definitely be to read more. All right, so if you need like a book recommendation, go ahead and check The Secret out. All right, should be plenty of copies on Amazon. It's also a short book as well. All right, so probably shouldn't take too long for y'all to read. Like legit, I think there's only like 180 pages, like literally, and it's not really all too heavy reading. So very good book. Highly recommend it. even if you don't believe in the law of attraction, you think like it's just like a bunch of nonsense. I still think it's still an overall better way to uh, live your life. When you're overall like have like a more positive mindset, and you're more appreciative, and you're more open to the possibilities of having a more fulfilling life, and having any kind of goals that you have in life uh, being achieved and all that. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just be it on this little segment on the law of attraction. I think I've been going on for like 15 minutes or so, like just talking about that. So hope all of y'all enjoy like that snippet. I'm gonna see like if there's anything else that I really feel like talking about. I think actually was gonna talk about vaping, but I think I might go ahead and leave that to another episode. I don't know, like talking about vaping and the law of attraction. I feel like those are like the two things that don't really like mix, so I might just leave those for another episode for another time. But by the way, for those of you that are only watching the or listening to the audio version, I was just taking a good hit of like this of this vape cigar that I have. It's pretty good, by the way. It was a little bit pricey. I think it was like $30 or so, but hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty tasty. All right, let me stop messing around. Vaping is bad for you. All right. But yeah, I think the next one will probably be a little bit about vaping or like some other topic. You all let me know, by the way. I want this to be a podcast where it is to at least a certain extent like community driven. Where I discuss like topics that you all think is interesting, and that you would really like value my input on said topic, and hopefully you can have like a better view on that topic, like after I give you my standpoint on it. Like I said, the whole point of this podcast, Freedom and Hustle, is to basically help all of you draw something new from it, and hopefully allow you guys to like live like a better, happy, and more fulfilling life. I definitely have a lot of goals for this year. I do have like some really ambitious overall goals for this decade. I hope all of you do the same as well. I think like the saddest thing about a lot of people is that a lot of people just don't seem like motivated. You know what I mean? Like they just go to like their job. They go home and then they play Xbox or whatever. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I do a little bit of that as well. But but other than that, like that's like their whole entire life in a nutshell. It's basically like they're robots. They just go to their minimum wage job. They come home. They relax for a little bit. They wake up and then they do the same. They do the same thing. It's a process. And a lot of people like they just don't see their lives as anything more than that. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of people will say like that's the school system. Telling y'all that hey, the only kind of job that you can realistically get is just like some boring 9-to-5 job where you're behind a computer, like barely earning enough to like have a fulfilling existence. Some people say that's the reason. Some maybe it's personal or whatever. Like maybe for whatever reason said person like just doesn't feel like like they're worthy of like living like a really fulfilling life. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not saying like there's like a particular one, but But overall, like I do think like it's really sad that a lot of people do just see the world that way. You know what I mean? So that's actually another reason why I made this podcast. Like if you know someone, honestly, that is basically like what I just described. Like they're basically just basically robots. They're just working at McDonald's or whatever, and they just don't see their lives as anything more than that. If you know anybody like that, send them here. All right, because trust me. All right, if there's anyone that needs like motivation like this, just to open their eyes, it's gonna be someone like the person I just described, and it would honestly like make me feel a lot more happy, like knowing that I personally helped someone, by being basically just like rambling and just letting everyone know that hey, life is actually meant to be fulfilling. You can actually do what you want in life, especially in this time and age. All right. If there was any other time and age, to do what you actually want to do in life, it would be now. It would be 2020. Okay. So that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna go ahead and head out now. I think that's a good note to leave on. All right. So to everyone that has stuck around to this point, I appreciate y'all, and I hope you come around for the next episode. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can go ahead and put a donation page or a link to everyone that feels like donating. All right, help out someone, and you can expect good things to happen to you. All right. I think that's how karma works. You put out good deeds, you get good deeds back. All right. So do a lot of good for the world, and the world will pay you back. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a donation out for everyone that wants to help out. Share this podcast to anyone that you think needs to hear a message like this, and I'll go ahead and hopefully see all of you next week. All right, where I will talk about some new topic on hand. But hey, really appreciate y'all, and I hope to see all you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Adios. Peace.